With the hype growing daily since the Vince promo last Monday, the WWF and TNN were preparing for a record-breaking night for the network tonight, as with the company's momentum rapidly picking up since the start of the invasion angle while further accelerating following Vince's promo with the announcement of Rock's return, which saw Raw jumping to its biggest audience since his last appearance on the show on April 2nd within 30 minutes. The stage was set for the turnaround to be completed back to peak numbers, with TNN doing a mega hype job over the weekend after the return was officially advertised on the SmackDown broadcast last Thursday, with constant commercials leading up to Monday night for Rock's first TV appearance in 4 months, with him coming back to wrestling television as the most publicized wrestler in history after massive mainstream media coverage over the last several months, with a record-breaking opening for his debut movie The Mummy Returns while during the filming of his first lead role in The Scorpion King, with Raw coming in front of over 18,000 from the First Union Center in Philadelphia. Opened with Paul Heyman taking back his place on commentary next to JR, while Taz hyped the Alliance taking over tonight in ECW territory, before being interrupted by Chris Jericho to set up an impromptu match, with Jericho quickly going over, followed by both WWF and Alliance groups preparing to recruit Rock the moment he arrives to the building, as Raw saw the hype on the night kicking off just as the show went on the air, with the first quarter opening with a 4.6 rating and 6.2 million viewers in the highest rated opening segment in almost 4 months. Raw's second quarter saw the continuation of the Van Dam experiment, with him after getting the biggest babyface reactions of the Alliance group from the WWF audience, coming out to another big reaction with the added buzz in the building coming from ECW territory in Philadelphia, going 4 minutes against Tajiri to defend the hardcore title and pick up over 700,000 viewers into the 5 rating range, with the company acknowledging the crowd response to Van Dam, with him going over in every match so far in his run, and with RVD originally talked about as one of the major names pushed on the separate WCW show before the plan's cancellation. An updated TV scheduling from the company on the way to August 25th saw the possibility of a WCW show on a Saturday night timeslot on TNN being brought up again, with the company set to debut an unknown new program, replacing the 2 weekend morning recap shows which took a hit in the ratings since the company's move from USA to TNN last September, leading to speculation on the Alliance getting a separate show after all on a 2-hour format from 10 to midnight. With Vince announcing that he's reinstating Rock last Monday, 3 days later in the first show since the announcement saw SmackDown jumping to its highest rating in almost 4 months with a 4.3 rating, in a unique situation making it the highest rated SmackDown since the show which Vince first announced the suspension of Rock on April 5th. With the show in addition to the hype for Rock's decision headlined by Kurt Angle winning the WCW title from Booker T to a massive reaction in front of an hometown crowd in Pittsburgh, with the rematch booked for later tonight, as Angle's follow-up promo tonight also signaling on the change in direction for the SummerSlam pay-per-view, seeing him challenge Austin for the WWF title at the event after the show was originally scheduled for months to be headlined by The Rock vs. Austin rematch from WrestleMania 17, instead delaying the match to set up a double main event with Rock's return to pay-per-view, which the entire SummerSlam advertising was built around, set to see Booker being elevated to the highest profile match in his career in addition to the expected Austin vs. Angle match, with Raw climbing big in every quarter throughout the first hour, jumping over 1.4 million viewers in total to peak at a 5.6 rating, with Austin hyping up Booker to win back the title from Angle, with their match set to open the second hour. Raw closed out the first hour with the build-up and entrances for the Angle vs. Booker title match starting earlier than usual to reveal a pre-match Angle with a WWF and Alliance brawl to end up with Rhino laying out Angle to give Booker the advantage in the match before taking another commercial break, kicking the match off at 9:57 p.m. to go 8 minutes with the match opening the second hour with a 5.8 rating. Seeing Angle having the match won to bring out Austin for the interference to cost him the title and set up the double headliner for the SummerSlam pay-per-view, with Austin bailing out of the building minutes later in his last appearance on the night, and with Austin only working the Invasion pay-per-view main event over the past several weeks while taking off house shows with him still recovering from the back injury from the table spot at King of the Ring. Next Sunday would see a major house show in San Diego with both Rock and Austin set to be back on the road on the same night, with Rock working his first non-televised event since February in a scheduled match against Booker, in addition to it being his first match back in general since the cage match against Austin on the day after WrestleMania, while Austin and Angle would wrestle mainly in tag matches with both working through injuries. With all network records on target on the night after the mega hype for the broadcast during the week, the second 10 to 11:09 p.m. hour saw TNN breaking the record for the most watched hour in network history, set between 10 to 11 last Monday, with the hour overall driven by the biggest audience to ever tune into the network by a massive margin during the main event segments, Raw drawing a 6.1 rating with over 8 million viewers, making both figures all-time highs for TNN and for Raw, the first full hour to enter the 6 rating range since October 23 and the most viewers for any hour on the show since the second hour on September 11 last year, 2 weeks before leaving the USA Network. With Jim Ross confirming again last Thursday that any deal to sign Goldberg, Flair or any other WCW contractual performer is currently not an option financially, the WWF during the latest annual business report covering the record-breaking fiscal year from May 1, 2000 through April 30, 2001, revealed an almost unheard-of situation, with the company for the first time releasing the official price the company paid to purchase WCW from Time Warner at $4.3 million in total, making the entire company barely costing more than Bill Goldberg's yearly salary, to again bring up the clear suspicion on internal sabotage being done behind the scenes by Brad Siegel and Stuart Snyder to just get the company off the books and sell to McMahon at any price despite having much larger offers on the table, with the breakdown seeing the WWF paying $2.5 million for the WCW brand in addition to $1.8 million in acquired costs, with the WWF business report seeing the biggest year-on-year increases coming from television rights, with the bigger Viacom contract in addition to it being the first full year of SmackDown on UPN, along with pay-per-view buys increasing over a million buys from around 7 million to approximately 8 million total buys during the period. And at 10:39 p.m. the man who drove business during that peak year more than any other individual was finally shown standing in front of the Rocky statue near the First Union Center as the crowd erupted with the return minutes away, as the 10:30 to 10:45 p.m. quarter, which included the entrances and start of the Dudleys vs. Taker and Kane tables matching mainly the continuation of the show-long angle, with the McMahons waiting for Rock's limousine to arrive, followed by Rock showing up on WWF TV for the first time since April 2 outside the building, jumped to a 6 rating in the first full quarter on Raw to enter the 6 rating range since April 9. The moment has come at 10:52 p.m. with Rock arriving at the First Union Center, going straight to the ring, signaling to the three McMahons to come out, with the building already buzzing for the main event decision segment, followed by Rock walking out to a huge ovation 2 minutes from the top of the hour, with Raw's final quarter featuring the second half of the Taker and Kane vs Dudleys tables match, followed by the start of the Rock McMahon segment, already picking up a big to a record 6.4 rating, the highest rated full quarter hour in TNN history and Raw's highest rated quarter since the show's final weeks on the USA Network in September 2000. As Shane was first bringing up Vince costing Rock the last two WrestleMania main events, saying that as the biggest star in the industry that transcended it to new heights, Rock should join the future of the business with the alliance, followed by Vince saying that he made bad business decisions in the past, but in the WWF it's at least the devil that he knows, ending up with Rock laying them both out as the Philadelphia crowd exploded in one of the biggest reactions ever seen in show history, with Rock's return segment spiking huge with over 1.6 million viewers to an all-time record 7.1 rating with over 9.2 million viewers, making it by far the highest rated and most watched segment in TNN history by a million viewers margin, driving Raw overall to a year-high 5.7 rating with 7.6 million viewers, breaking the TNN viewership record of 7.4 million set on the day after WrestleMania 17 in what was also Rock's last night on the show, to lead to the unprecedented situation of Rock driving two network record audiences in back-to-back appearances, with the 7.6 million total viewers making it the most watched program in the network's 18-year history, leading to Rock's return and the TNN record, which saw the 2 hours of Raw being the most watched hours of the week on cable television by a massive margin, to almost double or triple any other show in the top 20 for the week, being covered in high-profile TV and entertainment media outlets, with the network sending out a press release hours later noting the unprecedented numbers of 15 to 20 cable TV rating and key demographics tuning in during the return segment between the final quarter and the 9-minute overrun, ending with an all-time memorable moment as Rock, in his first words in almost 4 months, announcing that he's coming back to the WWF to another huge pop to close the record-breaking program.